You're listening to Career Ready, and I'm Coach K. Getting you ready for your corporate career. The aim for this week was to start the conversation on what professional etiquette is, particularly when you're busy applying for work and making contact with a recruiter for the first time. We called these engagements critical touchpoints. We then also defined and compared colloquial and professional language and gave 2 simple scenarios on the application of each. Today we will close off with the screening call, which is the second critical touch point with a recruiter. When recruiters have shortlisted candidates that they would like to put forward to be interviewed, their next step in the process is to make a screening call with each candidate. The screening call is used to determine and clarify a few things. Number 1, they call you to determine whether you are who you say you are. And number 2, they call to align expectations. This is when the recruiter will discuss these things with you. A, they will discuss the role in a bit more detail with you. B, they will ask you about your ideal role and working environment. C, they will give you some idea of what will be required from you if you continue the process. Will you need to come into the office to interview, for instance, or will there be virtual interviews? D, they will ask about your salary expectations. And then E, lastly, you will both determine whether or not it's the right job for you. Do you want to continue? And are you able to continue with the interview process their way? Or do you need some kind of concessions made? Now that we know what a screening call is, let's get into how you should conduct yourself during one. It's important that you are honest to a degree during your screening call. Remember, the purpose of the screening call is twofold. Number 1, it's for the recruiter to make sure that you have the potential to go all the way, that you are a right fit. But secondly, it's also for you to determine whether the job itself is for you. One crucial mistake I find candidates make during this call is not being honest about their location. If you're in Durban, for instance, and you've applied for a job in Johannesburg, be honest with the recruiter so that they know to rather make the interviews virtual or telephonic for you. Or even better yet, they might be willing to compensate you for your traveling costs. I want you to bear in mind that an interview is not a guarantee of work, so you want to avoid wasting your valuable resources like time and money. Okay, now how are you expected to communicate with a recruiter during this call? In a professional manner. Always be professional until you've established some level of rapport with the recruiter. So that means that the following conduct is expected from you. Number 1, when you answer the phone. Yes, we're back to this because it is important. This will be the first time the recruiter will be talking to you in person. So answer the phone with manners and respect. Hello is a perfectly normal way of answering the phone, not yo, hey, or gemang. And number 2, during the call. Please don't get too comfortable during the call just yet. Stick to professional language or semi-professional. But you don't want to be too casual with the recruiter. So here are a few tips on how to maintain a level of professionalism on the call. A, don't use slang words. Rather use complete words and complete sentences during your call. Think of them as a client and not a friend. B, don't use one-word answers to a question. So never just answer yes or no, but rather give context or substance. So you would rather say, yes, that sounds good to me, instead of just yes, right? And C, don't be disrespectful. Avoid speaking to them like your friends. This is not your manze or chomi, bro or dude, but rather address them by their name. My last point for today is this. You need the recruiter to have every confidence in you that if they promote you and put you in that room with that interview panel, that you will not embarrass yourself or their reputation with your conduct. So go out there, present yourself well, conduct yourself with manners, and empower your purpose. That's it from me today. Thank you so much for joining. You can continue the conversation with me on LinkedIn by following my hashtag QMCareerCoaching, or on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as well at Hello Coach K. Or if you prefer, you can send me an email at info@hellocoachk.com. See you next time.